Now, live from Muskegon, Michigan, this is Tiger Talks Wrestling. Like, comment, subscribe, or be subject.
And welcome back, guys, to Tiger Talks Wrestling. For a little while. But we are here, and we got a very special guest. We can hear some dogs there in the background.
Oh my God! Sorry about that.
Y'all good, man.
You know, dogs are afraid of vacuums and stuff.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me get into the introduction for you. Of course, from Proving Ground and NUW, we've seen you lately. It is the boss, as I've heard. Mike Pirillo, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor. I've never done like a radio podcast thing before, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I feel honored. You know, I was watching that intro, and I've seen you had some pretty great guests, so now I can call myself being amongst one of them. So I'm honored.
Over the last little over a year, I've had 50 some odd guests, so.
It's a lot.
Yeah. It is. I did way too many in the first year. I'll tell you that much. But
gotta spread it out.
Yeah, that's all good. We're cutting things down now, so. Hey, we got Gunshot in the chat room. We'll go back and forth between my questions in the chat room and see what we get here today.
All right.
Let's start off with what first got you interested in wrestling?
Well, growing up, my brother was a huge fan of it because he is about 5 years older than me, and he was like a huge WCW nerd. Like, he was really into Goldberg. And my dad always watched it. I guess as I was just young, it was kind of like I was not necessarily forced to watch it, but it was on, and I just was just like, wow, this is so cool. And like, haven't stopped watching it since. So from that on, but then the actual wrestling aspect, like me getting in the ring, didn't happen until about 10th grade.
All right. Alex Seeley, some people probably know who that is. This dude says, this dude looks like he could convince a Home Depot employee that he never used a pair of bolt cutters.
Yeah. To be fair, though, that was me more in Castelli and Evan Blake, who what had happened was Kelly, aka the Dark Side, lost the keys to a porta potty that we had at an NUW, and I really had to use the bathroom, so we went to go get a pair of bolt cutters. They did not work at all. That lock was like on steroids. So then we go to return the bolt cutters, and me and Castelli came up with this huge story. It was like, oh yeah, our dad called, said we didn't need it. In reality, we didn't even have to lie, and she was, you know, I think she knew that we used it, but I mean, it was our word against hers.
Yeah.
That's a great first question.
Well, get to what we get.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned about the time that you started backyard wrestling. What first got you interested in wanting to start in backyard wrestling?
Well, in 10th grade is when I met Jordan Oliver, and he told me all about it, and I was just like, no, there's no way this exists, and I have no idea. Like, I had no idea this goes on without, like, 5 minutes down the road from my house. So he was like, yeah, dude, just here's the address, just come this Saturday, and, you know, just wrestle with us. So I showed up, got in the trampoline because we didn't have a ring at the time, and yeah, got in there with my very first match the same exact day against David Lowell, and I lost because, you know.
Newbie.
But
gotcha.
Yeah.
Alex did say, shh, they came like that.
They did. They really did. There wasn't a nice selection.
All right. Who'd you say are some of the guys, the wrestlers that you looked up to or enjoyed watching the most as a kid, and leading from that into influences pretty much now towards your style?
Well, I mean, my all-time favorite is it's pretty much a tie between Chris Jericho and Edge. I guess Canadian wrestlers. I wouldn't really say I have like my in-ring style doesn't really stem from them, because I mean I'm not one to do lion salts or spears, although I have hit a couple. But growing up, obviously Jeff Hardy. I mean, any kid who's grown up in my era can't say Jeff Hardy was your favorite. Like, come on. Matt too, of course, but you got to throw Jeff in there. But I think as far as in-ring style, like, you know, I have been taking like a few pages out of like Elias's playbook and Bobby Roode. Because I do like, I'm a huge like music person, so Elias is probably like who I would say I probably rip off the most, with the exception of Deuce and Domino, because that's where I get my outfit from.
All right. All right. So, as you mentioned, when you first came in, we even seen on screen, Jordan Oliver kind of brought you in. What would you say of your character origins, or how your character was portrayed pretty much back then compared to leading into now?
Well, basically the premise was Jordan brought me in and didn't really have a spot for me as like my own person per se, but Jordan kind of came up with the idea for me to be like his muscle, like almost like Diesel to his Shawn Michaels.
Right.
And I was brought in to, I believe it was pick your poison between David and Jordan. Jordan had to pick David's opponent and vice versa. And Jordan picked me to face David. And then from there, I was kind of just like his lackey. And then we slowly formed into a very short-lived tag team by the name of the Dangerous Express.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, got a couple more questions in here before we go more into that. Gunshot asks, he's got two questions here. I got a question. How much sausage do you get?
I don't get any. No.
And the better question from, what is your favorite match of all time that you've seen in backyard wrestling?
That hasn't. Oh man. I can't. There has been. I can't say like. I can't necessarily say yet because it's not up yet on the tube, but it features Navon. I'm just gonna say that, and his opponent is just. I can't give it away, but oh my god. Like there's never been a match in my like watching an NUW that has made me pop that hard besides this one. So you're just gonna have to, once that match is up, I will gladly tweet about it and tell you exactly that's the one that I was talking about. I even have the match. I have the match on my phone, and every now and then I'll like send the clip to Navon, and he'll get pretty pissed off. So I always like to rib him about it. But yeah, but either between that and I'm gonna say the first backyard rumble at NUW. I really felt like that was like a really cool match. Not because I was the longest one in there and I had the most eliminations, but I thought that was pretty cool because Royal Rumbles are my favorite. It's my favorite pay-per-view ever, and to be in one was just like super cool.
Well, if you're gonna mention that, then I gotta ask you what your favorite Royal Rumble pay-per-view of all time was then.
Jeez. I'm going to have to go when I believe it was Royal Rumble 2001 with Stone Cold winning, but it came down to him and Kane.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that one. That was like my favorite one growing up. But I'm not going to lie, with the exception of it's weird because the past couple of Royal Rumbles have been like really hit and miss, but that one and the 2009 and 2010 Royal Rumble. 2009 because I really liked John Morrison and Rey Mysterio started off and stayed almost all the way through the entire thing. And then 2010 because, Edge came back and won it all. So it's like a three-way tie.
Yeah. Well, Gunshot saying damn autocorrects. I think he meant to say how much sauce do you get?
Ah, that makes more sense. Well, the Pirillo family has their own secret recipe. I also do work in a grocery store, and every now and then I have to stock some sauce. So I would have to say about 5 tons of sauce weekly.
Oh.
A lot of sauce. Not a lot of pasta, though.
And his next question, how did you get your wrestling name?
Well, the sauce came from, well, Mike Pirillo is my real name. I don't go by, like, I don't like going by different names. I don't know. I'm just weird like that. But the sauce came out of, it was originally, the idea I had was to be like a Deuce and Domino character, and I was going to be called the, I believe it was like the Brooklyn Angel, Mike Pirillo, and I was going to, be some wisecracking guy from Brooklyn. But then I was like, you know what, I'll just leave it as Mike Pirillo. But then during my debut on Proving Ground, I said to Owen Devine that your mom's spaghetti sauce is simplistic. And that just seemed to stick. And it was just like they started chanting sauce, and then I was just like, you know what, the sauce, Mike Pirillo. And now here we are, 20 bottles of sauce later.
Nice. All right. I honestly say this much: I haven't really seen a whole lot of your earlier stuff in NUW, but if there's anything
Thank God.
Thank God. But if there's anything from back then that you want to mention or talk about real quick, go for it.
Well, geez, because I mean, like, early on in my career, the career of NUW, BEW, I didn't take it serious at all. And as you can see, if you watch back some of the old stuff, I'm always laughing or cracking up when I'm supposed to be serious. So, like, looking back, like, okay, that should have been, come on. Also, too, I didn't have gear back then. I kind of just showed up and with, everybody kind of did. And only like 2 or 3 guys actually wore gear. And I was a lot heavier then, too, so I didn't really know many moves. So I wish I could just scrub my beginning because, yeah, I'm not super proud of it. Like, there's not, like, I'll watch back, like, my first match just for, like, the fun of it. But up until, like, when I came back the second time, I wish that just, if I had the thing for Men in Black, just the neuralizer, just erase it.
So how was it, though, you mentioned in your first match against David Lowell, how was it step in the ring with him in your very first
David, like, I mean, I didn't know him at first, but him and I became pretty good friends since then. It was an experience because, I've never ever faced off against somebody ever. So I was kind of like nervous, I guess, really. But the match was, was talked through and stuff, and it was not the outcome I wanted because I wanted to win. I'm just kidding. But I think the match was definitely like a good way to like dip my feet in the water because I could have been, having my first match against anybody, and for it to be against David, who still to this day is on top in NUW, it's like, definitely a good first match with a good opponent.
Right. Gunshot's next question, as he's going to be active throughout the entire stream, it looks like here, with questions. Will you ever have a match with Mikey Nitro or Mark Williams?
I don't know. What was that? Mark, the second name sounds very familiar to me. I'm trying to think of who that is.
I have a feeling he stopped by NUW recently, so.
Mark Williams. Oh my God, who is that? But here's the thing, and I feel like people might think I come off as a dick, but like, if you tell me your ring name, if you introduce yourself to me as your ring name, and then you tell me your real name afterwards, I'm going to forget both of those names. So, chances are I know who Mark Williams is, but I can't think of who it is right now. So,
I'll give you
it's possible.
Here in just a minute. Wait 1 minute.
That's not the investment, right? That's Clark Williams.
Right.
Oh, it is the investment.
No, you're right. It's not Clark Williams.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, it's a big facts, Mark Williams. If I can find a picture.
I feel so sorry, Mark Williams. If I met you before and I forgot who you were, I'm terribly sorry. Mark Williams.
I should be looking the other place. I know I got one there.
I feel like a real dick.
That's okay. Somebody else in the chat room, see if you can figure out who says sauce.
How do I view the? It doesn't let me view the chat room though.
It's just the dark side said it. That's not even know who it is.
The dark side, the homie. He's my favorite. Not really. He's got a good theme though.
I don't have one, just Mark. Bummer. Now he's got a picture of Mark. There's one.
There we go.
Screen share for a minute. This might remind you. Not the greatest picture, but it's a little far away.
Yeah, I can't really see that well.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't realize it was that far away.
Oh my god, is that what it looked like? Shit. But yes, I could see myself having a match with whoever that is. Pretty much anybody. I mean, I feel like I've wrestled now at almost everybody in the area, so I want to see what
Mark and Mikey Nitro are both from Michigan.
Okay, well,
So
looks like we're going to have to meet in the middle. You know what? Just both meet in Canada. Triple threat match.
There you go.
The losers have to stay in Canada.
Yeah, that helps. But anyway, Mr. Awesome asks, did Corey Graves teach you the ways of the sauce?
He did not. I taught myself the ways of the sauce. Actually, my grandmother taught me the ways of the sauce. She's got the secret recipe. Where the sauce came from, like I've said, was the whole Owen Devine thing. But I'm going to give a huge shout out to Tim Neely, a.k.a. Casey James, because he did pitch a lot of ideas for me to use. He was the one that came up with the carrying the sauce to the ring thing. So that is all him. So shout out to Casey James, wherever he is in Pennsylvania.
Who knows?
Who knows?
So I'm going to try to decipher this one from Gunshot. He says, will we see... He put it... I'm going to read what he put first, and then I'm going to try to decipher it from there. Oh, that's
Got it.
Will we see your grandma, is who he says, and Navon McDonald's in a rap battle? Sorry, autocorrect. I think you know what I meant to say. I think he might have been meaning to say you and Navon, but I'm not positive.
Well, on the newest Upshot episode, my grandmother does make an appearance, and she does throw some harsh words at Navon. So I have been dying. I honestly have been trying to get my grandmother to come to NUW to appear live and in person for the longest time, and she just won't budge, and it's driving me crazy. She has shown up and watched from like a distance in the car. One of these days, I feel like I'm gonna have to bribe her, but one of these days, I'm gonna get her in the ring.
Oh, you got her on camera. That's got to be a start, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Awesome says we need that in a one-on-one sometime. Hashtag battle of the sauce.
Oh, yeah. I'll bring my grandma. She'll be my special guest.
There you go. And now we'll move in. Let's talk a little bit about Proving Ground then, since you brought it up at one point, and that was the next topic anyway. What would you say of your experiences so far that we've seen? Obviously, I'm sure there's plenty more that has been filmed that we haven't seen yet. But
well,
I'm going to do here in just a few minutes.
Well, Proving Ground, I thought it was a great way to like reinvent myself. I felt like it was better to do the whole change of the character on Proving Ground than to do it like like for me to do it on Proving Ground, like Yankee gave me the spot. All I just needed to do was just have the character ready for that. So I thought that was really cool, and then being able to wrestle Owen Devine and then going straight after Victor Van Pelt, aka the $1 million whatever. Paul Peterson calls him Diamond Dallas. So and then I know the match between him and I for the championship did end with him rolling out of the ring like a little punk. I'm just kidding. But that match, I'm gonna say I'm not proud of that match, only for the sole fact that I was being such a punk about it, because that day it was about 2 degrees outside. And if you notice in my entrance, I refused to take off my jacket and my hoodie because I just couldn't do it. So I'm not proud of that part at all. So hopefully, if I ever do appear back on Proving Ground, I'm coming for that title. I'm gunning for you.
Yeah, because Victor rolled out of the ring and took the count-out loss in that one.
Yeah. Champion's advantage.
Of course. Just barely. You just missed getting outside the ring yourself to break up the count.
I was tired, man. It was cold.
Right.
And I the next day I came down with a serious sinus infection, and I was sick for a good week and a half after that, but it was worth it because wrestling is life.
Right. So then, since then, we've seen your reemergence, as you could say, in NUW. How would you say things have been going for you that you would think, anyways, since you've come back?
Well, I can't complain. I've been showing up and getting stuff thrown at me to do. I've gotten to, I definitely think re-emerging back onto NUW has opened up more doors as far as opponents to wrestle and storyline opportunities. Because for a while it was kind of just before Proving Ground, I was kind of absent for a while. For majority of the summer of I want to say it was 2015, 2016, I was kind of gone, with the exception of coming back once or twice. But
right,
re-emerging back in NUW with a new character felt like pulling up to the club in a fly-ass suit, all flashy and brand new. And so far it's been a pretty good ride, I will say that. And I look forward to, if I ever get a title opportunity.
Yeah, we're going to jump into that in a little bit. But first, we've seen in the last couple episodes of Slaughterhouse a brand new talk show that you actually have.
Yeah.
TV. Whereabouts did that come from, and what was it like for you to have that opportunity to have a talk show?
I loved it because I viewed that pretty much, like I've said before, both of my favorite wrestlers, Chris Jericho and Edge, they both had talk shows.
True.
So for me to have one, I kind of felt that's pretty cool. And, it really, I don't recall it being done as much in NUW. And the whole idea, Navon actually approached the idea of let me have a talk show. But for the longest time, I couldn't think of a name. I wanted it to be catchy. But then as we were about to do the first episode, I was like, oh, it still doesn't have a name. Guess I'll just call it Sauce TV. And then all I needed was a personal desk and a can of sauce. And then my co-host, Sister Maria, who is from the Goodwill store down the street from my house. My cousin found it, and he thought it'd be a really funny gift to give me. And now I think she's going to be a permanent co-host. She has been demanding a lot of money, though.
Huh.
Because nuns don't really get paid. But, yeah.
So the first episode, we'd actually see you kind of a little bit interjected into what will become the main event of Fight for Freedom, as you had both David Lowell and Joseph Anthony on there. What was it like to be kind of in between the two of those with all the hostilities that we've seen them two go through?
Well, I got to be honest. I felt like they were stealing my thunder. It kind of turned into, I went from Sauce TV to Joseph and David TV, if that's catchy name or whatever. But you know, I felt like it was for me to have them as my first guests is it helps them as far as their story against each other. We really, you know, you put Joe on the platform to crap on David and put David on the platform to crap on Joe. And like for me to be in the middle of all that kind of, you know, it definitely would made the Sauce TV probably more relevant than it would be if I had a guest like Carlos Mysterion. No offense to him. But to have, you know, the two top main eventers for Fight for Freedom on my show is definitely a great way to start.
Right. And of course, as that episode of Sauce TV was coming to an end, who would come out but the boss man?
The King of the Mountain.
Yes, indeed.
Ruining my very first show, man. Oh, that guy. You know, you don't just do that, you know. It's not. I wouldn't show up on like Good Morning America and just cancel everything. You know, for Navon to do that, but it made me want to have him on my show because it was obvious that him coming out there, he just wanted to be on. He just wanted to be on the camera. You know, he likes stealing the show, which is why I had to have him as a guest. I just had to,
right.
And the whole fact that I punched him in the face. He would probably definitely want to come on the show and try to punch me in the face, which he did.
Of course. Which we'll get into that one a little bit. Of course, he would put you into a match for later on in episode 14. And we see how things went for that. Turned out pretty well. I do want to talk more about this current episode of Sauce TV in just a moment. First, the gunshot says, if you watch it, what's your favorite TNA match?
You know, I did watch TNA like briefly when I was younger, but then as I got older, I kind of just was just like more WWE than TNA. I like this match, and like a lot of even the wrestlers who were a part of this match, because I listened to Edge and Christian have a podcast, and Christian wasn't a part of this match, but he on his podcast he mentioned how much he hated it was called the Reverse Battle Royal.
Mm-hmm.
And like I liked it for how ridiculous it was. Like, who in their right mind thought, hey, instead of a battle royal where you get thrown out of the ring, how about you get thrown into the ring? I just thought that was pretty stupid. And then my second favorite TNA match, it was between, oh my God, the American Wolves. I think that's her name.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can't remember. They faced the Hardys and they faced somebody else. It was like a triple threat. It was like I was on TV and I just happened to like turn it on and I was like, wow, that was like pretty insane. I think it was like a triple threat tag team match, and they walked away with the gold. Or maybe it was just them and the Hardys.
Because it could have been Abyss and Crazy Steve. Because I know those three teams had it out for a little bit. But.
I don't know. It was like I didn't like TNA as much because I kind of just felt like when I was younger, I was just like, oh, this isn't professional wrestling. Only WWE is professional wrestling, which is obviously a total freaking lie because, you know, now I watch everything.
Right.
But that's like the ignorant WWE fan mindset.
We'll get into Mr. Awesome's question in a minute. This edition of Sauce TV, the current one, whether people have seen the current episode of Slaughterhouse or not, we're going to spoil it a little here. You actually busted out, with Navon being on the show, a little guitar and a little song that would be kind of Elias-esque.
Yeah.
Earlier. So what were you thinking when writing this song? And hey, we even seen on Twitter the Out of Context page. Backyard Out of Context page.
Yeah, they even featured. I was pretty high. Like, my Twitter was blowing up, and I normally don't really use Twitter, so it was kind of cool to see, you know, somebody took that little clip and put it on their page. To be honest, the Navon song, completely off the fly. Didn't write anything. Didn't even know what chords I was going to play. I just knew I had to make it rhyme, and it had to be understandable. So I was going to keep going for longer until, you know, Navon threw a fit
Of course.
And then, of course, him and I ended up in a brawl. But yeah, that song was completely off the fly.
Yeah. It wasn't that long of a brawl because you have to better of Navon pretty quick there. But
oh, yeah, he ran out the ring. Old punk.
Yeah. Mr. Awesome wants to know, you got any more songs to sing to the King of the Mountain?
You know, I've actually been writing a Boss of the Sauce Christmas album. So that drops pretty soon. Not really. But I think if the opportunity ever came to me, I would definitely consider myself writing diss tracks against whoever just happens to be on my shit list that week. And if it's Navon again, then I'll have to come out with Navon Part 2. And then that will be a full length song. Maybe I'll even have like a backup singers in the ring snapping along and singing.
I'll say this, it was pretty entertaining. I seen some people commented that they weren't too thrilled with a 15-minute promo for the start of NUW episode 15 for Slaughterhouse, but to me, it's entertainment too. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, I didn't see that people were disappointed in it, but if you were, well, must be something wrong with it if you were, because that was pure quality entertainment right there.
Right.
You can't find that stuff anywhere else.
So Mr. Awesome's follow-up question was, how did it feel to be featured on the lovely Twitter known as at BYWOOC, the out of context?
Well, because I don't use Twitter, I didn't really know. Like, it just said that I was tagged in something, so I click on it, and I'm like, oh, what's this page? And then I clicked on it, I was like, oh, it's probably nothing huge. And then I was like, holy shit, like, they have a really big amount of followers, and I saw there was like over 1,000 views on that little clip. I felt like so honored. I felt like so cool and relevant. So I definitely, whoever tweeted that out, I do appreciate that. That kind of made my day, because yesterday wasn't that good of a day, because, you know, Stan Lee, legendary, had passed away. I was pretty upset about that. But that definitely, that made my day, being on that Twitter page.
Yeah. Before I jump into more of mine, Gunshot wanted to know, do you have a favorite Kenny Omega match? His is the 60-minute Iron Man match he had against Okada.
I'm gonna now. Geez, that's a hard question. There's so many. Like, I've just recently started. Like, it's like, I don't want to say I don't watch Kenny Omega, because everybody's watched him before. He is insanely talented. Right. The most recent, like, some of his recent stuff, I haven't watched as much, because I don't watch New Japan that much. I think it's like, because I don't want to pay for New Japan World for just to watch one guy. I always try to find like highlights on YouTube and stuff. I will say though, I did watch All In, and his match with Penta was insane. Also, last Friday, Kenny was up here in upstate New York, and unfortunately I had to work that night. But I was gonna go see him versus Ray Phoenix, so that definitely would have been cool. But I'm gonna say Kenny versus Penta is probably. And because it was a great match, and of course Chris Jericho, the run-in was that was brilliant. Like, I've never seen something like that before. You know, he pretended to be Penta, and I bought it for a second because I was like, oh my god, and then I was like, wait a minute, that's not the same costume.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, leave it to Chris Jericho. He's always coming up with something new, even now.
That dude single-handedly revolutionizes the business, like, every time.
Sure.
It's always, everything he does makes people talk about him.
Right. So, as we were talking about, and we'll put a little wrap bow on this one, we do know next for you guys in NUW will be Fight for Freedom, where you do have this big match against Navon McDonald, the King of the Mountain. What is it like? What do you feel like going into this match, knowing that it's pretty much the biggest match that you've had in your career in NUW?
Well, I could easily say it is the biggest match because it's with the biggest star, and I know Navon's going to love that. But, I mean, to be truthful, he's probably the only guy that's, like, stood the test of time from the time BEW started till now. because he's the guy. Everybody from the beginning to now, it's like Navon is just because he might not be the best wrestler, but his persona is just like so big, and it does have such like it does carry weight. And to be in the ring with him finally, holy, like for knowing him for so long and never been able to wrestle him, it's like it's about time that I get to kick his ass, because I want to kick his ass because he dropped my sauce. He made fun of Sister Maria.
He did.
He did. A little punk, man. I'm gonna get him.
He also mentioned during the Sauce TV that you are never have been and never will be a champion. How hard did that hit you?
Pretty hard, because up until that point, I never realized that I've never won a championship. I kind of just, and granted, I have had opportunities, like when it was still BEW days, and I did have a couple of championship matches for the Rising Star Championship. But that was pretty much the close. And then with the exception of Proving Ground, which is a whole different company, it did hurt. And I feel like that coming from Navon, just because he's been a champion, and he kind of is the owner, so I feel like he could kind of make himself the champion, and nobody's gonna bat an eye. It was a low blow. It was very low, the lowest of the low, and it hurt. Crushed the sauce, man. Didn't have good pasta that night. It was sad and soggy.
Imagine. So even has to put a little more into this match that you've got coming up against him at Fight for Freedom.
Yeah, I think this match is when I win, because there's no way this guy is gonna get one over on me. I think my next, I'm just gonna have to make him eat his words and just go after somebody for a title. And then I'll rub it in Navon's face afterwards. And by the some off chance that he beats me, I'll still go after a championship and still rub it in his face. But cross that bridge when I get to it.
So speaking of bridges and championships and crossing bridges, who would you say that you've got your eye on for a potential championship match? I mean, singles-wise, obviously in NUW, you got 2 championships to go after. That being, of course, the Continental Champion, Dark Side, as we talked about earlier, and the Undisputed Champion, Shadowground.
Well, I've always been a huge fan of the Intercontinental Championship, and I always I really want, if I ever went to the WWE, that's the title that I want to win. But now that I'm in NUW and there's a Continental Championship, just missing a couple of letters, I could easily say I definitely have my eyes on that title. And then, Shadow Grim is a hard man to challenge because he can just magically appear out of thin air. So I don't really know how I would go about facing him, because I feel like I'd have to light a fire somewhere and he would just appear out of thin air. But I'm gonna have to say the Continental Championship is probably what I'm gonna be gunning for. Maybe I'll win both. Honestly, I'll gun for both of them at the same time. Dual champion. Yeah.
Well, of course, there's one other championship you could go for in NUW, but that one you'd have to have a tag team partner for. That'd be the NUW tag team championship.
You know what? There were a few people who did fill out applications to be Mike Pirillo's tag team partner, and some of them were good applicants, but if the tag team champions ever show up, then yeah, I think my top choice to have a tag team partner, it's got to be my boy Brandon Castelli. Even though I know him and I probably wouldn't gel right away, but he's got a very Italian last name, and so do I. I feel like that would just be a match made in Italy.
Oh, you mean Brandon Spaghetti? Oh, wait. Everybody gives him the spaghetti.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess there is one other championship I happen to forget about in NUW singles-wise, because we hardly ever see the guy that...
Oh, the hardcore champion.
Yes, of course.
Here's Yankee is a scary guy, because I've seen him beat people mercilessly with baseball bats and throw people through ironing boards, And, that's not my style, so I'm just going to stay away from that because I don't want to die. I want to wrestle.
Don't blame you.
So, Yankee, don't hit me with a bat, please. You got it. You hold on to that championship forever, pal, because I will never in a million years go after that. I don't want to die.
I think Hellhound might disagree with you on the hold on to the championship forever part.
Hellhound. That guy. Did he say something?
No, I'm just saying, knowing that Hellhound Zach Romig is Yankees challenger at Fight for Freedom.
That's true. I had the chance to talk to Hellhound about his match, and I told him, I was like, you do realize this could either go one or two ways. You can win or you get snapped in half. My money's on option 2. And he was like, no, I think I got it. I'm like, all right. So I put money, me and my grandmother betted against each other. So she thinks the Yankees going to win. I'm just going to have to go with Hellhound because she betted on my bet. So I could be out a lot of money. So Hellhound better win.
Yeah, well, let's see. When Fight for Freedom comes out. All right. I'm going to get into those questions. I got a couple more earlier. Gunshot wants to know, is there any person that you want to have a match with that you haven't had a match with yet?
As far as in the backyard, I mean on the next level of wrestling, that's a whole different conversation. But everybody in my area I've kind of faced already. And I know there's like a few like matches that have happened already, but they haven't gone up yet, so I'm not going to give away names. But there's somebody who, him and I kind of have like a back and forth, always trying to get at each other. I'm going to say Dirty to Chico.
Nice.
I've never wrestled him, but him and I always seem to try to bust each other's chops. So I would love to see how that would play out if him and I actually, get in the ring. I mean, obviously I know I'd kick his ass, but it would be nice to see him try to step in the ring with me.
The gunslinger versus the sauce.
You better not bring any guns, man. I'll bring some sauce, but can't bring guns. I'll have to use something else. And if not, and if him and I'm gonna say Scorpion the Assassin also.
Nice.
Because he's a cool guy, and I'm a cool guy. And if him and I were to face off against each other, I think it'd be a cool match. Of course, I would win because the sauce overpowers the Scorpion. Like if I took a Scorpion and dropped it in a boiling pot of sauce, it's gonna die.
True, very true.
So, yeah.
Of course, if you had the match with Dirty to Chico, there'd be a murder club that you'd have to worry about too. So.
Yeah, sometimes I forget about the murder club. I've seen what they've done to some people. I'm just glad it hasn't happened to me yet, which is another reason why I'm staying away from the Hardcore Championship. I don't want to get murdered by a club, especially not the murder club. Because I feel like there's just so many of them. Like, obviously, I'm not going to win. Even if I had a shotgun, there's still like about 50 guys in that whole group.
Yeah, who knows who else in that group.
50 guys and one baseball bat. That's the murder club right there.
There you go. Riley Bates is in the chat room, says, the sauce. Sorry he's late. Had stuff to do. Basketball. Says he'd do a match with you if he could. And Mr. Awesome wants to know, can the sauce overcome emotion? I know where he's going with that one.
Where exactly are you going? I don't know where he's going with that one.
I have a feeling he's talking about the last emotion.
Which would be?
Novin.
Oh, yeah, duh. Oh, my God. I'm so... See what I mean? This is the shit. Like, I can't remember Navon and Novin. I have... To be... Here's a little NUW secret here. I have actually only seen Novin in physical form, like in person, once.
Wow.
That's it. Only once. And I don't know if that was just happened to be, bad timing, or I'm not there when Novin's there. Do I think I could beat him? I don't know. Jeez. That dude's scary. But I have a feeling the guy under the paint isn't scary. So, I think I could. I definitely think I could. The last emotion. He would scare the shit out of me, though. Granted, I probably wouldn't want to lock up with him, but if I could somehow like lure him into like a crypt and then just lock the door without getting touched by him, as long as he doesn't have any creepy dolls, I think I definitely could overcome Novin. Speaking of which, Novin did have some custom guitar work I've seen recently on YouTube, and I will proudly say that Novin's custom guitars, he's a hard man to work with, but those custom painted guitars, check them out. I don't remember who he appeared on with them, but they were hand painted by yours truly. So
Nice.
So, yeah, Novin has a specific taste, so as long as it's got crosses and blood, he flies with it.
Right. Gunshot wants to know, what's your favorite thing to do when you're not wrestling?
I like being honestly, I like being in the crowd for when I'm done taping, because I mean, a lot of times it's mostly just us there, so we got to cheer each other on. I like being like just sitting there watching everybody else wrestle, and usually when it's Navon in the ring, me and Joseph Anthony love throwing things at him. So that's probably my favorite thing. Nothing against Navon, but it's just like I know I'm gonna get the best like reaction out of him ever if I throw something at him, because I know he'll hop out of the ring and beat the crap out of me. As we've seen, there's a couple of episodes where he attacked me and Paul Peterson, who were just innocent bystanders. What have happened was, I believe it was Johnny. I think Johnny Reed threw something at Navon, and he thought it was Paul and me, so he came out and beat both of us up. But it was really Johnny Reed the whole time.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
Since we mentioned him a couple times, what's your opinion on everything that went down with Paul Peterson and his run-in and getting the boot, so as to speak, from a certain King of the Mountain?
I gotta tell you, I was there for that match, and holy crap is what I'm gonna say. I applaud Paul Peterson, because that dude got killed by a TV, weapons of all sorts, and him getting the boot. You know what? Just one less guy I got to worry about. And I have faced Paul Peterson before on Proving Ground, and that didn't work out for me.
Right.
So I believe it was on Proving Ground. It was either Proving Ground or NUW. I do remember facing him. And, he'll be missed, but just one less guy I got to worry about going after the gold.
Yeah, we'll mention he might have got the boot, but he did pick up the W beforehand, so.
That's true. But his win is kind of, like, if you win but still get fired, it's just like.
Moot point, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All right. What was I going to go with? When you look at the Proving Ground roster, of course, that's a pretty huge roster. Is there anybody specific from that roster that you haven't gotten a chance to fight that you would like to step in the ring with?
Jeez. I can't really think of the entire – like, I can't picture the entire roster right in front of me right now.
Obviously.
I have interfaced with almost everybody, I think. I can't really think of who I haven't faced yet from Proving Ground. I know I haven't faced. I think. Jeez, I'm trying to. I can't really think of anybody who I haven't faced yet. I kind of faced everybody, even if they weren't on Proving Ground. I've faced them in NUW already. So
fair enough.
I'm just gonna say Victor Van Pelt again because I want that title, and I am owed a rematch, and it's been like a year, still haven't gotten it yet. So I'm gonna say Victor Van Pelt again, even though I faced with him. I just totally screwed up the question, but I need that title.
See you going after that Rising Star Championship in Revan. That would be a good match too. Oh
yeah, he's a pretty forceful guy. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so. But I am. Everybody says, oh yeah, he's just playing a character, but no, I tell you this: that dude knows how to use the Force. And it's not fair. I feel like the Force should be illegal in wrestling. Until the referee bans force movements, like Force choke, Force lightning, not wrestling them. I refuse. I refuse to get electrocuted.
Well, I can't blame you on that one, I suppose. Riley Bates wants to know, would you come to South Dakota and fight him in SPW?
Well, if I was ever in that neck of the woods, I mean, I would always be opposed. I do going forward. I do want to travel and wrestle in different locations. I've only wrestled in NUW. I haven't been anywhere else yet. But granted, South Dakota is pretty far from New York, so if you pay me, I'm just kidding. If I was ever out in that neck of the woods, then by all means, I wouldn't come alone. I'd bring my grandma.
There you go. Speaking of crossovers, any crossover interests of any specific places you'd like to go that you obviously no place have you been besides NUW, but any specific companies that you'd like to travel to at some point?
I've had my eye on DBW for a while. That's probably my top. Because I mean I've interfaced with a lot because a lot of the guys from DBW have been up in NUW, and their ring seems so nice. No, I'm just kidding. I think that's probably because a few guys from NUW have gone down there before. I haven't yet, so I'm gonna say DBW. Maybe I'll face off against Mr. Judgment. No, he's scary too. What's up with all these scary? You ever notice all the wrestlers from Pennsylvania are like really scary? Or is it just me?
They can be.
I've only been in Pennsylvania like twice, and it seems like everybody is in like a satanic cult down there. You got the Heretics, Mr. Judgment, Hellhound.
Yeah.
They need Jesus. They need Jesus down there, man.
Is he there, isn't it? Anybody else on their roster that you'd have your eye on?
Jeez. With the exception of Mr. Judgment, maybe the Blaze. Maybe the Blaze. Junior Judgment, as I like to call him. I feel like he kicked my ass, though.
Listen. All right. Oh, that's a good question. So Mr. Awesome wants to know, since it's a lot closer to home than DBW, do you ever see yourself going into the underground sometime to UWE?
I'm trying to think where that is because, oh, man.
Everett Creed, Dirty DeChico.
Yeah. Oh, my God, yes. Are you kidding me? 100%. Because if I know that's where Dirty DeChico is going to be, then I might just have to go down there and kick his ass.
Down in Bayshore.
I mean, unless he kicks my ass. That's in Long Island, right?
Bayshore.
Yeah. I could see myself going there. I was supposed to go there like a while back, and then I can't remember why I didn't go. I think maybe I got called into work, or like I just didn't have like travel time and money or whatever. But yeah, I think 2019 I definitely want to branch out and wrestle in other places, and I definitely want to attempt to, because I know, I mean, every guy I've interfaced with has said this. I feel like I say interface a lot. I feel like this is a fancy word to use.
No, Mickey.
Yeah, I want to branch out to the next step of professional wrestling. I don't want to. Nothing against backyard wrestling, but I think I do eventually want to get up to the next level. But only way to do that is to actually get around in backyard. And honestly, backyard wrestling is the way to go. I feel like it's better than blowing all your money at wrestling school. You can just travel down Long Island, South Dakota, North Dakota, wherever. Just gain some experience from there.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, and if the guy from South Dakota wants a match, it has to be on top of Mount Rushmore, or I won't do it. Like, wouldn't that be so crazy? Like, just wrestling, like, you just got to throw the opponent off Mount Rushmore.
Wow.
No, that'd be scary as shit. We'll have a parachute.
I would hope so. Have to have something.
Make him sign a waiver. Well, I'd probably have to sign the waiver because I'd be the one visiting.
True. Might both have to sign a waiver. Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so I had a couple of questions sent in. One of them I'm just going to have. First one, you kind of answered this one, but would you ever share your mother's sauce recipe?
Absolutely not. Nope. The only way I would ever share my mother's sauce recipe is if you subscribe to the Mama Pirillo cooking channel for just $89 a month. Then you can get the recipe. It's a good deal, $89 a month. There's no episodes, there's no content whatsoever, but you get the sauce recipe. So.
Well, there you go. If anybody ever wants that sauce recipe, they just got to pay him $89.
Give me $90, $90 plus tax, so it's about almost $90. Then you can have the recipe.
All right. This question was sent in. What is the most efficient kind of towel for drying a wrestling ring?
Gotta go with those microfiber towels, man. Exclusively, I think I got those at Home Depot. They were like in one roll, and I thought it was one towel, so I bought like 3 of them. But then I take it out, and there's like 6, so I have 18 microfiber towels. The most efficient way to clean the ring, to dry it up. I'm not sure who sent that question in. I feel like it might have been the dark side, because him and I and those microfiber towels, maybe, I don't know, who did it say who that was?
I didn't say who it was.
Oh, damn it. Now I want to know.
Uh,
I have a strong feeling either the dark side or maybe, I don't know, anybody that's witnessed my microfiber towels. They're going to be part of the gimmick, I think.
Nice.
After the sauce, the towel boy.
All right. Gunshot has this question. I'll change it up a little bit, but do you got a tattoo that says you get the sauce?
I do not. I don't have any tattoos, but I'm not opposed to getting a jar of sauce tattooed on my arm. I definitely think I'd get fired from both of my jobs, though.
Yeah, those can be troublesome.
Oh, yeah. I do, however, this isn't a tattoo, but I have been looking into, because, I wrestle in, jeans, Converse, and my Italian flag Superman shirt. So I am looking into getting gear, like tights or whatever. And I desperately am trying to figure out how I can get a can of sauce on the side of my tights. I feel like that would cost a lot to get custom made. But hey, I mean, Yvonne's got custom gear. Maybe I should get some custom gear.
Wouldn't hurt.
Well,
stick out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Let's jump in. I'm gonna get your opinions on this. You probably watched it. Obviously, you weren't a part of it, but King of the Yard last year. What was your opinion of the tournament and knowing that there was 32 men in that? Obviously, you missed out on it.
Yeah, I was there though. I don't know. You probably can't see me because I'm behind the camera holding the umbrella for Navon. But that was super cool. Like, to have, first of all, having a tent over the ring makes it look so cool for some reason. I don't know what it is. But I was initially going to be in that tournament. I honestly, I was replaced by somebody else because I couldn't stay for the full 3 days, or yeah, I believe it was 3 days. But being there for the first day and getting to meet, like, it's funny. Like, I met a lot of these people, and then they ended up becoming regulars at NUW. Like, I remember meeting Revan because he kind of stuck out to me like a sore thumb. I was like, why is this guy dressed like a Star Wars character? Right. Now I know, because he's Lord Revan. So, but that was so cool to see. Like, I always used to think that it was just we're like the only people in the area that did stuff like that. But to have like all these different guys from all over the place show up to wrestle, it was just so cool. And I was like, damn, I wish hell. Now looking back, I wish I was in the first one. But there's always room for a second tournament, and a third, and a fourth, and a fifth, and a sixth.
Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. Gunshot wants to know, based off of that, would you face the guy that won the King of the Yard tournament, Cameron Jackson?
Well, I don't know if I faced. I've never. That's probably the only guy that I could say I haven't faced in NUW. There we go. Because I forgot. I didn't forget about him, but because he moved,
right.
I kind of forgot like that he was there. But that dude, man, I feel like him and I would definitely put on a hell of a funny. I wouldn't say so much of a wrestling clinic. I'm not the greatest wrestler in the world, which is very obvious. But I could easily say I'm a pretty funny guy, and he is freaking hilarious. So if him and I ever did face in the ring, I think it'd be an instant classic.
I could just imagine the laughs that would be had if Cameron
man.
Jackson was on Floss TV.
Oh, I think that would probably blow away the first 2 episodes combined.
I would agree. Off of that, though, I have sources. They tell me things. I find out stuff. That's why people call me the Meltzer of backyard wrestling. But anyway, knowing that after Fight for Freedom, the King of the Yard 2 tournament will be aired on NUW's channel, will be beginning. Do you have any plans to enter the tournament this year?
Absolutely. You know, I wasn't sure if you were aware of the second tournament. I know. Because, you know, it's confusing because some things are up on our channels or some things aren't. But absolutely. I'm definitely should be like the top prime pick to represent NUW in the tournament. I mean, besides, you know, like everybody else who's champions and stuff. But yeah, and if for some reason I don't get into the tournament, then I'm going to start my own King of the Yard, and it's just going to be me versus me, and I'm going to win. But it's going to be 32. Yeah. It'll be me in 32 different shirts.
That'd be interesting.
But seriously, yeah, absolutely. Because like I said, I missed out on the first one. Now that there's a second, I want to be in that tournament. I have to beg Navon and whoever I have to give sauce to get in that tournament. That's not a sexual innuendo. If I have to give somebody sauce to get into a tournament, then I have to give sauce.
Gotcha. I normally ask, so I'm going to ask anyone in particular that you'd like to face in the first round if you had the opportunity.
Well, geez, I can't really think because I don't know who's going to be in the second tournament. I just know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Coming up. But I'd have to say I wouldn't mind squaring off with, even though we both would be representing NUW, I wouldn't mind squaring off against the Dark Side or Johnny Reed or Joseph Anthony. I think anybody from NUW. My goal is, if I do enter the tournament, which hopefully I do, my goal is to eliminate everybody else from NUW. So that way, when the tournament's all said and done, I'm the guy, you know, because I just Roman Reigns to everybody. I just beat everyone. So then I have to get a championship opportunity at that point.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a smart strategy.
It is. It is. I'll give you that one. Mr. Awesome says, sources say a restaurant is opening. They will have underground pizza, the sauce, and Nana Maverick sweet tea.
Yeah. You know, there have been talks in the works of a NUW-themed restaurant. I've been talking to the pizza man, who's a very, very odd guy.
Yeah.
And I think a restaurant would work. I feel like none of us know how to run a restaurant, so it would work for like a day, and only we would show up to go eat in there. But it's in the works. I don't know how the hell he knew about that. So whoever that guy is, man, I feel like he must have like a camera hidden somewhere in the Slaughterhouse. That was a secret, high-profile meeting.
Pizza sounds pretty good. So Mr. Awesome Mike, I wouldn't put it past him. He's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. Gunshot says, are you going to have a big celebration when you eventually do win the World Heavyweight Championship? Or the Championship?
Shit. I think any championship I win, I'm going to throw a crazy celebration. I do. You know, I bought like a huge Italian flag that I'm just going to have a bunch of fighter jets fly over the sky carrying when I win a championship. I'm going to have fireworks. I'm going to have the Sauce Girls, which are like basically the Hooters chicks, but with a different color tank top. My grandmother's just going to be throwing pasta at everybody. And I'm going to get in my Lamborghini and just drive off into the sunset. And then it's going to explode, like Vince McMahon style. But I'll be totally fine because I have a fireproof jacket on.
Nice.
And then I'll go to Disney World with the title and ride Space Mountain.
Wow, so many different wrestlers you could throw in. One including, of course, the late, great Eddie Guerrero, who passed away on this date, of course. So.
Yeah.
Rest his soul. He was taken from us way too early.
That's very true. I remember I was on my way to school, and because I was in elementary school when he passed away, I was so upset. Like, usually when like people who are famous pass away, or even like professional wrestlers, I'm just like, oh well, it's not like I knew them, but like Eddie Guerrero, I was like, damn, that freaking sucked. And I'm Chris Benoit, but I mean, yikes, it's totally different.
Definitely. Mr. Awesome says I got connections.
He's got the connects. Well, I'm gonna figure out who your connections are, and I'm gonna have them silenced. I have to put in a call to Uncle Tony.
Not to be confused with me.
No, not you. I have an actual uncle who will possibly make an appearance very, very soon in NUW. I might even bring him with me to Fight for Freedom. Who knows? He's a very busy man. I'll just have to ask him.
Fight for Freedom's looking like it's going to be a big show, to be honest. So.
Oh, yeah. It's a big one. It's my first. There's a big opportunity for me. And a big opportunity for Navon because he gets to be in the ring with me. So.
Right.
Yeah. That young up-and-comer a chance.
For once? Oh. Did I say that? Where do you see your future in NUW? Let's start with that. Take it from Fight for Freedom once that show's over.
Well, like I said before, I think after my thing with Navon finally comes to a close, and if I win or if I lose, I definitely think the next thing to go. I mean, I can't just be fighting random guys from Schenectady or Timbuktu every pay-per-view on the opening match. So I think it's time that I go after. I have never called out anybody for a championship opportunity, but that's pretty much. I mean, if you're not a champion, you're trying to become one. Champions defend and challengers challenge. So,
right. Which
is glaringly obvious. So I think after Navon and I finally get our little scrap out, I'm gonna be coming after somebody for that championship, but not Yankee, because I don't want to die.
Right.
No murder club. Stay away.
Since he was pretty much the first person you mentioned, the dark side. What is your thoughts of his current open challenges that he's been throwing out there every week?
Every time it's annoying because every time he does an open challenge, I'm always in the bathroom, and I feel like he waits till I'm in the bathroom and then does his open challenge. And by the time I'm finished wiping, the match is already over. So if I had a better bladder or a better stomach, I think I would have answered his challenge a long time ago and probably would even beat him. But he's got some balls. I'll give him that one. You know what? I respect that because for a while it didn't really seem like any champion in NUW was defending so frequently. And since he's won the title, it's kind of just been like championship match, championship match, which in fairness is giving other people opportunities.
Sure.
But, I mean, him beating everybody's ass is kind of making him, it's kind of just making it even more relevant because once I inevitably challenge him, or if I even go past him and challenge Felix, I think it's going to be a pretty big deal. But as long as I'm not in the bathroom when he does his open challenge.
You're trying to say the dark side's trying to duck you?
I don't say that he's trying to duck me. I think it's just terrible timing because I go to the bathroom a lot. So, and he is probably the only guy that issues open challenges. It's not like Felix just hands out championship matches, aka the dark side, not the dark side, Shadow Grim.
Right.
I called him by his real name once during an episode, and the face he gave me, I thought he was going to stab me. So, I apologize, Shadow Grim.
I will say that for the dark side, he is bringing a lot of prestige to that Continental Championship because honestly, we haven't really seen it that much before Dark Side won the title. And
that's very true. Very true, but at the same time, I feel like the Continental Championship Open Challenges kind of turn into the Hardcore Championship Open Challenges because it feels like every time somebody answers a challenge, they get thrown through a table or get hit in the head with a sink. So
true.
If I do ever answer an open challenge from him, I definitely think I'm going to have to wear a helmet and some protective gear.
I mean, Darkseid did post after episode 14 a picture of his back after getting a kendo stick to the back from Evan Blake. So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Dude, it's not fucking around. I'm not sure if we're allowed to curse, so I apologize. All right.
Look, I've had the Darkseid on here. You think he avoids that?
Yeah, that's true. You know, I just remember he was in the intro, so he definitely...
He's been on here a couple times. Might have to do it again.
Curses like a sailor. Speaking of the Darkseid, him on Sauce TV, I think would work out. Maybe that's what would get me the championship match. If I call it open challenge. If I issue an open Sauce TV challenge. Right? Yeah.
Why not?
I can see it.
You just got to get through Navon first.
Yep. Oh, I will. Trust me. Skinflint.
All right. So then besides NUW, where do you see yourself going? Perhaps once your time in NUW is over. What do you see yourself doing?
Jeez. I do have plans of trying to get on the independent circuit of wrestling. I know I'm probably definitely a long way away from there as far as like getting more comfortable in the ring. I know I have trained with Shadow Grim outside of NUW a couple of times. Like him and I have met up. I definitely need a lot of work, so I do think that's probably inevitably the next step. As much as I love backyard wrestling, I think the best way. I'm not looking at like for example, like Jordan is looking to make it like that's his thing. Like he went from backyard, now he's on the indies, and he probably wants to keep going. As much as I'd love to do that, I'm like, you know, I also have, you know, career plans outside of wrestling. So unless those don't work out, then just balls to the wall wrestling, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever works, right?
Yeah. Hopefully by next year I should be in the main event at WrestleMania. So as long as it works out.
Yeah.
Coming for that title, Brock.
Yeah, he'll probably be holding it come WrestleMania next year too.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it's just WWE's whole Saudi Arabia plans, because they've expressed they want Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as champion to appear in Saudi Arabia in 2019. So my prediction, I think The Rock is probably going to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I see that happening, because we know who else really, like, realistically, who else is going to challenge. Like, who else are they going to put against Brock? They can't put Braun Strowman. It's probably going to be The Rock. It's my guess. If anybody listening wants to make a bet about the main event WrestleMania, let me know.
There you go. That could be interesting.
Yeah.
So for Sauce TV, do you see any upgrades or anything different happening with the show besides what we've done?
I do want to get because I know certain talk shows they change the ring apron, they get a carpet. I wouldn't want to change the ring. I don't want to make the ring crew, aka me, and the Darkseid, have to put on another tarp. But I think a nice Italian flag throw rug, maybe a flagpole, maybe an actual table and not a personal desk, which I bought that by accident because I thought in the box it looked like a real table, like something I could put somebody through if I ever needed to. I take it out of the box, and it was tiny as hell. So between that and a Titantron, duh. Yeah. Oh yeah. NUW could afford. You know, I'll pay out of pocket. I'll take a bunch of old like computer screens and tape them together.
There you go.
And maybe Sister Maria, like, maybe we'll be able to afford the lower half of her body, because it's just arms and a head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give kudos for this. Your talk shows have kind of ended both episodes in brawls, and that's the way you see them always happen on wrestling. Anyway,
yeah, you know, it's somebody either goes through a table, or it's funny, contract signings, somebody always goes through the table. talk shows always ends up in a brawl. And it's funny, both episodes ended with me brawling against Navon McDonald. So
yep.
It's just faith.
Mr.
And if you have noticed, I didn't mean to cut you off. If you have noticed, both times in Sauce TV, I get the upper hand. So, Fight for Freedom, it looks like it's probably going to be me with the upper hand again,
Right.
3 times charm.
I'm sure Navon will give a bigger fight since he won't be able to run and hide. But
that's true.
Mr. Awesome says it's going to be Rikishi. He did it for The Rock to face Brock.
He did it for the people. Rikishi. You know what? I would pay to see that. I would.
And
I don't even know if Rikishi could.
Right. He still wrestles. So.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. Anyway, Gunshot says, the main event of WrestleMania is going to be Brock versus Finn Balor for the Universal title. I disagree with that very much, so unfortunately.
If they didn't have plans, if they planned on giving Finn the championship again, it would have been right after he came back.
Yeah.
I like Finn Balor a lot, but I don't know. It's like he was supposed to be like the new era guy when they went into the brand split, and he hasn't been. And it's like it's not his fault. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, I don't know. I don't know WWE behind the scenes, but I don't see anything wrong with the guy at all.
Right. Okay, so here's a question that's very popular on this show, it seems like. Pineapple or duck?
Pineapple or duck?
Yep.
Like, food-wise?
That's just a question from the dark side. Pineapple or duck?
I don't even... Pineapple? I don't know. I don't get it. Does he ask that every question? Every show?
He asks it every show he's in here, yes. Pineapple or duck?
But what does that even entail? I don't get it. I thought maybe like pineapple on pizza. I hope that's not like something sexual, because I hope I didn't pick the wrong answer.
We'll see if he decides to enlighten you on any of that.
Has he ever enlightened anybody on that?
Nobody's ever asked, so no, not really.
Oh, shit. I'm going to have to ask him next time I see him.
Oh, wait for that. I'm going to go into one of my favorite parts of the show. I might throw in an old one, too, here. Job 1, fire 1, push 1. I'm going to give you 3 names. So you're in control of the company.
Got it.
Tell me which one would be jobbing, which one you would fire, and which one you'd be pushing that would get that world title opportunity. 3 names I think you're pretty familiar with. Jordan Oliver, Joseph Anthony, and the Dark Side.
All right. It's job, push, and fire?
Yep.
I'd fire Joseph Anthony.
Only
because I don't know why. I like Joseph. I like Joe. He's super cool, but like, he wants to be a rapper, so just kick him to the curb. I would job out Jordan easily. No, actually reverse that. Totally scratch that. I would fire the Dark Side because he's already been pushed, and he would never job out, because then just got send him off, so that way I could be champion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I guess I would still job Jordan though, because he's never been one to job out in his life as long as I've known him. So I guess I'd push Joe, but I would push him more as because his new persona, he's like he's a douche heel, so I would push him against me as champion. Because if I ran the company, I would hold all the championships, even the tag championships. And then I'd push Joe and then pin him in 2 seconds.
The new finger poke of doom. Gotcha.
Yeah. It wouldn't even be a poke. It would be like I would take the lid off of the sauce and just throw the lid at him. And then he'd just bump and just be out cold.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just one of my favorite things to ask. Newer ones, but
Yeah, it was hard because there's 3 names. It's like, well, that's kind of, I didn't even change my answer. I feel like I still didn't give the right answer in my head, but
yeah. You can change it. You can change it at any point. Um, So you mentioned Scorpion being one of the guys in NUW recently that you'd like to face. Is there anybody else that we've seen kind of recently that's a little newer to NUW that you haven't gotten in the ring yet?
Well, it's a tie because I feel like the Gamer and I could probably have a pretty good match together. I would love to see the Gamer versus the Sauce. I believe that is Jim Connors.
Yep.
One half of Brothers Creed. And I guess the investment seems promising talent in NUW. Dude seems really strong, so wouldn't mind facing off against him. Those are two, because I know I've known Scorpion longer than I've known the other two, but they're all from the same place. So I would say those two. Other than that, there really hasn't been anybody that's there's one guy, Zach Cobalt. Because I like his whole his elbow drop thing is super sick. So, and he's pretty creative dude in the ring. So I would say between those 3, I could definitely see myself having a video game versus Sauce match against the Gamer. Arm wrestle against the investment, I'll probably lose. No, maybe just a money match, like money in a bag on a pole match, because he likes money. And then Zach Cobalt, I don't know, probably elbow drop battle.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, except one time this wasn't in a wrestling ring. This was when I was still in high school. I hit an elbow drop on my friend just messing around in the auditorium. And I almost shattered my elbow completely because I missed and hit straight into the hardwood floor. So I don't have the best luck with elbow drops. But the dude didn't know how to work. He didn't know how to sell. So it's his fault, not mine.
Gunshot says he'd love to see you face Mr. Judgment.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. I really wouldn't. It's just, those scary guys from Pennsylvania, man. And he's big as I didn't realize how big he was until I had met him before. And I was like, holy shit, dude's tall as hell. I think he's probably the tallest dude that I've come across in backyard wrestling so far. Dirty Chico's pretty tall. No, actually, no, TJ Sakara is probably taller.
To say, I know TJ is pretty
yeah, he's a big dude. Freaking tall people. I'm short, so.
Gotcha. See what else they say. So we kind of touched on it a little bit. Was there any matches that stood out to you from the first King of the Yard tournament that you made it see in person?
Jeez.
I know that was a year ago, so it's probably.
Oh my God, yeah, it's really hard to remember. I know. Oh my God. The final match was. Because I caught it on YouTube, I can't really remember any matches that I was there in person for. I know, oh my God, because when I got there kind of late, and there's 2 people already wrestling in the ring, and I can't remember who they were. And then I kind of wasn't paying attention because I was kind of holding I did film some of it, and honestly, when I have to film, I don't pay attention because I'm just looking at the camera, even though I am looking at the match. It's just I just draw a blank. Okay. I honestly can't think off the top of my head about King of the Yard 1, so I apologize. It's forever ago, man.
I know, right? You said it's been over a year since that aired, and a year and a half probably since you guys recorded it.
And it's been even it aired a year, but it was filmed even earlier,
right?
Because I believe me and Jordan were still in high school when. Because I remember him and I think we left school early to go there the day before. because I mean we lived lived in the same area, but we were still in high school I think when King of the Yard 1 was being taped, and now I'm a sophomore in college. So yeah, that was like way more than a year ago. It's about like 2. Well, not really, and way more, but it just seems longer.
Right. And no time to fly. Gunshot says, what about a match between you and Lips? The Freak Show.
I could see that, except he does scare the shit out of me too. You know,
Yeah.
not so much. I've never been physically intimidated by another wrestler, but like characters like Novin and Judgment and Lips freak me out because, you know, I feel like Lips could like easily just like without even me realizing like rip my heart out and just eat it in front of me and I'd be dead. And he's kind of scary. So he reminds me a lot of the evil guy from the Powerpuff Girls.
Him.
Yeah, and that dude scares the shit out of me. So, but I wouldn't be opposed. I would man up, and I'd face him.
Right.
I'd probably shit myself, but I would.
So I have a feeling I know what the answer would be to this, but if you had a choice between the two, who would you rather face, Lips or Everett Creed?
I think Everett Creed. It's not scary compared to Lips.
Right.
But technically, they're equally scary, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Without giving too much away to the audience, I would say they're on the same level. It's almost as if they're the same person. Yeah, they're scary. Then Everett Creed. And if I had to face Lips after, you know what? 2-on-1. No, tag team match. Everett Creed and Lips versus me and my grandma. Book it.
There you go. Okay. Going back with a couple questions. If you could resurrect one person from wrestling that's passed away to come back for one more WrestleMania match, who would it be? And who would they face?
I'm going to have to say Eddie Guerrero. I would revive him back, and I would have him face Andrade Cien Almas. That's what, yeah, because I see so much like Eddie Guerrero. I feel like so much of his like charisma and quality, like shine, like Andrade has all that, and they both have like the Mexican luchador background and stuff, and I have pinned them against each other in the video game a couple of times in WWE 2K. So I feel like if Eddie Guerrero, because Andrade versus Rey Mysterio is like already, that's freaking good. So can you imagine if Eddie Guerrero was still around and face off against Andrade Cien Almas? Like that would be 100% my pick.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good one. Gunshot said if he had to pick, he'd choose Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit so they could have one more match against each other.
That's good. No, that's a good. That's a good answer. But I mean, you'd have to. You said resurrect one person, not two.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Or if not Eddie Guerrero, I guess honestly, I would love to see Chris Benoit and Daniel Bryan because they're two like super like aggressive wrestlers.
Right. Oh, that's another question. If you weren't in NUW, is there any one specific company that you think you would prefer to work with or be in?
It's really hard to say because I think NUW, that's my place right there, and only because it's 10 minutes away from my house. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, like NUW is always going to be my place of business because it's where I started. I'm not really one to like bounce around, which is hence why I've never really gone anywhere else so far. So if it's in a 30-mile radius, then sure. But I mean, that's a tough question only because like NUW, like I'm so familiar with everybody and so comfortable there. But yeah, I don't think the things would have gone the way they have. And I mean, it's just backyard stuff. It's not anything like super major. It's not like I'm selling merch and blowing up all over the world and stuff. But I feel like NUW is like the perfect like place to be to start. And with the exception, I don't know how like other like backyard underground promotions are like as far as fan base wise. It's just like it's so frequent where I'll be at work or I'll just be in a store on the street in the city of Newburgh, and a random person who's not even a wrestler will recognize me from that, and I just think it's like super cool because like my like a coworker of mine was like, "Oh yeah, I saw you on Slaughterhouse. I didn't know you wrestled." I was like, "Oh wow, that feels kind of like." I mean, maybe other companies are like that, but I feel like NUW has such a big. It was definitely a very talked about thing when I was in high school, especially. A lot of my friends, even my football coach, was like into it, which I think is pretty cool. Which is why I think NUW is the place to be. Because outside of like just the wrestlers in general around here, like there is just random people that watch it just for the fun of it. So.
Right. Can't go wrong with that. Delta wants to know what your opinion is on the Roman Reigns leukemia issue.
Dude, that sucks for Roman Reigns.
Yes, it does.
I'm not like a huge crazy like wrestling fan. Like no, I am, but like not behind this one specific person. There have been times where I didn't like Roman Reigns, but not because like anything against him. It's just like his whole. I kind of felt like it was repetitive, like always seeing him in the main event and always seeing him going after the title or whatever. But like ever since he's been gone, even every time he's gone from TV, it just like Monday Night Raw doesn't feel complete.
Right.
Because like Roman won the championship and like he finally did it. Like he got the title off of Brock. Now it's his. Now he could like defend it and make Monday Night Raw. Because I honestly feel like sometimes Monday Night Raw there's really nothing that the wrestlers are fighting towards, with the exception of Seth Rollins. Like yeah, the Intercontinental Championship's great, but they're like, how can SmackDown have all these titles that everybody's constantly fighting for, and Raw just has one? So Roman to be the Universal Champion was like, finally, here we go. And then for him to have leukemia, like, that sucks for him. I even saw, I think it was on Bleacher Report, like he's not even going to be able to compete until at least like 2021 or something like that. So he's going to be out for a while. Yeah, I don't know. It was either 2020 or 2021, but regardless, that's still a long way to go. And I wish him like a recovery, because you don't really ever hear like stuff like that in the wrestling. Like I've heard people had to retire because broken neck or concussions, but for Roman to just walk out on TV and just express something, because like every time, like for example, like every time a wrestler's injured or they have like a disease or pre-existing condition, it's always known about. Like Sheamus was just diagnosed with it was something in the spine. Like Edge had to retire from it. I can't think of the
name of it at the moment either. But
I can't think of it. But like Roman, for him to tell people that was like, holy crap! I never in a million years would guess something like that. So
not something professional athletes really.
No, never. Because you always think of them as like WWE superstars. You never really think of them as like just regular people. They're not invincible to anything either. So for like Roman Reigns, it sucks, but can't wait for him to get back, to be honest, and be 100%. Hopefully he can beat it quicker than 2021 or whatever, but yeah.
Hopefully. Gunshot says Brock Lesnar is a pussy champion. I kind of agree with him on that, but...
Exactly. But, I mean, Brock brings in the money no matter where he goes. As much as it sucks seeing him defend the belt like once every 4 months, it's just like... Brock almost like the way Brock is champion, it reminds me of like a like kind of like a champion in like a Roman Coliseum. Like this dude tears through everybody. So when somebody finally does beat him, it's just like, okay, that's the guy now, which was supposed to be Roman, and then people thought it would be Braun. But like Brock is champion, it's just like he's the dude like does everything right. The fans are gonna hate him and love him at the same time. So,
Right.
but like I don't even think it's like it's probably a mix between him not always wanting to work like weekly and stuff. But to be honest, if you're the highest paid dude on the roster, show up. Come on.
Yeah. I agree.
Like all you do is like if you're not suplexing somebody, you're standing in the ring in sweatpants, smiling, getting angry. Like you're not doing anything else. It's not like you do appearances and autograph signings. You're just sitting there with like a piece of red plastic around your waist because that title. First of all, hey, that title was doomed from the start.
Right?
Yeah.
Looks like a fruit roll-up.
Yep, looks like a Twizzler. The Twizzler Championship.
Scorpion in the chat room says, Scorpion here finally on a 15-minute break. Made it a must to be here. Sauce, you're the man. Great entertainment. Great entertainment. Wrestler and person. Sauce, sauce, sauce.
I love Scorpion the Assassin. Scorpion, I was talking about you earlier, buddy. I think you and I need to face off. Every time I watch him wrestle, I just yell Scorp a lot. Like he knows it's me because nobody else says it. But it's like the way I say it. It's very funny to me. And his face paint is pretty badass. Yeah, he was telling me a story. Last week I saw him and he was telling me a story how like he was getting burgers at Burger King and people thought like all this entire family was like he made like all these little girls like afraid of him and like this whole I feel like they thought he was like Sting or something and they were like popping when they saw him in the car with face paint.
Nice.
The only guy I know willing to just like go to Burger King in full face paint mode. Respect that.
Mr. Austin wants to hear the funniest story at either an NUW or Proving Ground taping.
Oh, there's so many. Oh, jeez. It's always it's a mix. It's always like a fun time or very like I want to kill everybody kind of time. Obviously, the dark side can relate to that. But recently, it was maybe like a month or two ago. I had a can of sauce. It was part of my entrance, and I dropped it, and it like shattered all over the place. No, even funnier story. I can't. All right, I'm not gonna say when because this has already happened. But basically, there is a match that will be on the channel soon-ish, hopefully. But basically, what happened was my music hit, and everybody thought I was behind the curtain. I was actually in the bathroom. So I'm the only person who's ever gotten their entrance from out of the bathroom. It's pretty funny, but like it was kind of after the fact. Like it was kind of like the conversation because everybody thought I was behind the curtain. So to see me come out from the bathroom was pretty funny. I can't really think of anything else. I feel like it's not that funny. It was kind of like if you were there, it's funny. Right. But yeah. Or maybe the one time me and Uslo and Revan were at the gas station and Uslo almost killed us like 3 times on the way there. Because there's a gas station literally 2 blocks away from the ring and Uslo almost hit like 40 cars.
Wow.
So and not against Uslo. Like, granted, like the first person, it was on them, but like I thought we were gonna die. And I was like, never get in the ring with Uslo again. I love Uslo, but hell no. I would rather walk to the gas station.
All right, I don't blame you. Scorpion says, "LOL, it was cool. Me versus you is a must before I retire. It'd be an honor."
I guess I'll just have to retire you. I'll retire you, Ric Flair style. Like, I'm sorry, I love you. Super kick. 1, 2, 3. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I could definitely want to get in the ring with Scorp. Good old buddy. He was the one that actually told me to get those bolt cutters, as expressed earlier in like an hour ago when we were first talking about it. So that's on him, really, because he was like, "Oh yeah, just get bolt cutters, it'll work," and it did not.
Of course it did. All right. So I'm going to have one more situation here I'm going to put you in. If you guys got any more questions, put them in there because this is probably going to be the last one for me otherwise. I'm going to steal a little something from some other talk shows. We're going to put you in, well, you guys have your own version of it in NUW, a Money in the Bank ladder match. I'm going to give you 5 other guys from NUW that you're in there with. I want you to tell me who the last guy is you're knocking off the ladder to win the match. So I'm going to give you, let's think. I'll put in David Lowell.
Okay.
Anthony. Nevon McDonald, just because.
Just because he's a rat.
And too. We'll throw in the dark side. And then, just for shits and giggles, pretty much, put in Yankee.
Okay. Well, dark side, I feel like if I pushed him off the ladder, he would just love it. And then Yankee, I don't see him getting all the way up to a ladder like that. David did ruin my debut. Nevon does treat me like garbage. Joseph and I don't really have that bad of a history. I'm going to say David. Only because he ruined my debut. He beat me. What a dick. And him and I have conversations. I'm kind of a noob at Smash Bros because I just started playing it. I know, but he tries to think that he can beat me, which is a lie because I definitely could. So if I throw him off the ladder, he'll never be able to face me in wrestling. So I'm gonna say David.
All right. So the follow-up part of that one is, of course, you won the Money in the Bank ladder match. Who are you cashing in on to win the NUW Undisputed Championship?
Shadow Grim. 100%. I would. You know what? If you have Money in the Bank, why not cash in on a big championship? Like, why settle for like the minor title? Let's go for the major. I mean, in WWE, I've never seen anybody cash in for the U.S. title. You know.
I just meant, who would you say would be the one person that you would cash in on if they're the undisputed champion? Not necessarily that.
Oh, I would make. Okay. I would make sure Nevon is champion.
Okay.
And then cash in on him, take it away from him. Easily. Nice. Or Shadow Grim, because he's currently the champion. And if there ever is a Money in the Bank match that I will be in soon, then it would be him. Just because, outside of NUW, he does train me. So I think it would be pretty like, screw you. The teacher has become the student because now I'm the champion. Nice. I'm sorry. The student has become the teacher.
Right. All right. See if anybody's got anything in there. We went from about 4 watching to 6. So if they got any questions, throw them in there real quick. I'll see if I can stall for a minute or two here. Anything else you want to get off that you got in mind? Anything you want to mention?
Not really that much that I could think of. If anybody out there has a good suggestion for gear as far as like what I should get, because I'm kind of tired of the jeans thing. Is kind of, it's not going to fly for long. So if anybody has any good suggestions, or if anybody's good at even drawing up a design for gear, please hit my line on Twitter at Mike Pirillo. That's a free plug right there for my Twitter.
There you go. Scorpion wants to know if you can beat the gamer.
Definitely. Are you kidding me? All I got to do, I have it. I just take the power glove before he gets it. I take the power glove and the zapper, and I'll have Rob as my tag team partner, the little NES robot thing.
Mm-hmm.
2-on-1. I would definitely beat the gamer. In any game, you name it. Any game, I would beat the gamer. Besides, like, I don't know, Mario Kart. I suck at Mario Kart. But in the ring, I think I would definitely be the gamer. No offense, gamer. I feel so cocky today. I don't know why. I think because I had a good workout.
Good boy. Okay, then. So, since we'll see if they say anything else, we'll mention this again, of course. The next time that NUW will be on, I'm sure there'll be an episode of a. Got distracted there for a second, sorry.
It's all good.
So Upshot, I'm sure, will be uploaded next. And then, of course, after that, we got the new event, Fight for Freedom.
Yeah. It's approaching.
Where we know of a few matches that'll take place on that show. Of course, you got the big match with Navon McDonald. The biggest match of your career.
So far, yes.
Yes, so far. We know the triple threat match for the Undisputed Championship between David and Joseph and Shadow. We got Yankee defending the Hardcore title against Hellhound. The Brothers Creed going against the Heretics for the tag titles. And the Dark Side's supposed to have something special planned for his open challenge. I believe that's all the matches that have been announced for the show. Anything specific out of those other matches that you're looking forward to the most to see?
I'm looking forward to seeing Brothers Creed take the goal off the Heretics, man. If they show up, I want them to lose so we can have new champions. Because the Heretics, I'm tired of scary guys from Pennsylvania coming in and taking all of our championships. But I'm very interested to see how the triple threat match between Shadow Grim, David, and Joseph plays out, because Joseph's gunning for that championship, David's gunning for that championship, and, you know, Shadow is a very, like, that dude can go the distance 100 times over. And I think it's going to be pretty interesting. I don't think Shadow Grim has to worry. See, in most cases of a triple threat, the champion should be worried about, you know, it's not like, I don't think the Joseph, usually sometimes you see if it's like, you know, two guys who agree with each other going after the champion, it's always the two of them wail on the champion and then fight it out. I don't think, like, Felix is going to have, Shadow Grim. He's going to have two opponents. I don't think he ever has to worry about Joseph and David teaming up at all. So really, I mean, that's kind of like something you don't have to worry about. But of course, the whole, like, you know, he could not get pinned. Somebody else can get pinned and he can lose the championship. But if I had to pick who I think would walk out with that championship, I don't know if that's what you were transitioning into. I think Joseph Anthony's got what it takes, because, I mean, he's been champion before, and I feel like his new attitude is gonna get him back to where he needs to be, at the top of the food chain.
It's a bold prediction.
Yeah. I didn't realize how low my battery was on that. Oh, my God. I knew I should have done this on the laptop.
Sorry.
It's all good.
So. But anywho, yeah, bold prediction. I personally think, because Shadow Grim's been such a dominant champion really ever since he won the title.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
We will. Oh, I'll be there. I'll be there to see what happens.
Right. Triple threat match, anything can happen. So we've seen it before.
Maybe after I beat Navon, I'll just run in and make it a fatal 4-way. No, I wouldn't do that. That's not fair to those three guys. I'll let them have their little schoolyard scrap, and then the sauce will be waiting for them. Maybe.
Well, the difference maker might be waiting for him with that cash in as well. So.
You know, I honestly always forget about that briefcase, man. That's still, it's sitting there.
Yeah,
it's amazing. After when a Money in the Bank winner first wins, it's just like, When's he going to cash in? When's he going to cash in? And then it turns into the Money in the Bank briefcase flying under the radar. It's almost like you forget it exists, which I think is what Yankees' strategy ultimately is. I feel like he wants everybody to forget he's got it because he has a hardcore championship. So you're not really thinking so much about the little purse he carries around, known as the fries to the case or whatever. Which, speaking of which, I have been in that match before. I don't know if you were aware of that. I think I was in the very first one.
Yeah,
or the second one.
Yeah.
Shockingly, ironically, I did end up throwing somebody who you did name off of the ladder. But I can't say who because this person has multiple personalities in the wrestling world, so I don't want to give anything away.
We'll leave it at that one. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So they went quiet in the chat section. Give them a few minutes, so we'll think it's a good point to stop here. All right. So good luck to you, of course, at Fight for Freedom. Big match with Ron McDonald. I'm definitely going to be interested in watching NUW and seeing where Sauce TV and where your career goes from here. Big things in the future, I have a feeling, for you and NUW. So,
thank you. I definitely would like to. This was cool. This was a cool opportunity to get to chat and Tiger Talks. I was expecting an actual tiger, but I mean, you're not that bad.
I think.
And hey, if you ever need me to come on the show again, without a shadow of a doubt, I love talking, as you can tell. But I just want to thank you for having me. Appreciate it. This was a cool experience. Makes me feel important in NUW. It's hard to feel important when Navon's stealing all the spotlight.
Yeah, I hear you. Man, there's been several other guys from NUW on here before you, but
no, yeah, I know.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
There's one that we were trying to get on here that won't come on without getting some money, and yeah, that's not going to happen. So.
Oh Jesus.
That's neither here nor there at the moment.
Wait, but so anyway. I'm not getting paid for this?
No, not getting paid for it. Sorry.
Oh, damn it, man. I was told I'd have $5 million sitting on my mailbox as soon as I walk out of here. I'm just kidding. Damn. Well, I'm going to be disappointed.
Sorry. Just
it's all good. I mean, it's publicity, so, why expect money?
Right. It's free publicity. You got to get it out there.
Free publicity. Like, I'm not paying to be on here. You're not paying me. It's just like free talking.
Yeah. It's a fun time. There you go. But anyways, yeah. Fight for Freedom, next show. We'll see where it goes from there. King of the Yard, apparently. That's where we go from there.
Might be in that. Everybody's gonna have to watch and see.
Yeah.
Might try to weasel my way into that tournament bracket.
Interesting. So then that's the plug for that. Any last words that you want to get in there before I get a final plug in for my next show?
No. Just if you're ever in the kitchen, people who are watching this, and you need sauce, and you feel like your sauce doesn't taste good enough, just remember it's never going to be as good as mine. So don't even bother to try.
Nice.
That's my advice.
All right. The next time I'll be on the air will be this upcoming Saturday at 5:30 p.m. with an NXT TakeOver and Survivor Series prediction show. Got a couple people lined up for that already.
Holy shit, Survivor Series this weekend.
Yes, it is. It's this Sunday.
Oh, I'll be watching. Might even tune into this to see what your predictions are. Probably have similar ones.
Yeah. I have both NXT TakeOver War Games 2 predictions for all 4 matches that they've got on there. And then
very excited for that.
Yeah, that'll be
good. War Games 1 was insane, so the second one is just going to be even more insane.
Second one's going to be a little bit more what you're used to from War Games, since it's 2 teams of 4 instead of 3 teams of 3 this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's again at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time this Saturday. That's when you'll catch Tiger Talks Wrestling back on the air. So, for anybody who's watching now, thank you. Anybody that watches later, thanks. Get this out there. See how many viewers we can get to. to watch it. And for Mike Pirillo, again, thank you for coming on the show. Been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. This has been Tiger Talks Wrestling. We're out of here, guys.
Deuces.